Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Thought for the Day number 116, and the last in this little series, the last for a while anyway. This is Saturday, the 1st of August, and I'll be honest, friends, it sounds a wee bit like it feels a wee bit like the end of an era. We've been doing these wee talks on a regular nightly basis for over 4 months now, and I've enjoyed doing them. Patricia knows my routine, coming into my little den here every day, and she says to me, "Are you way off again to talk to yourself, Ken?" And I, of course, say, "No, Patricia, I'm going to talk to the world." So you never know who's listening. But as I said, we are going to take a little bit of a break now. And when we come back later on in the month, these will still be posted, but not just on such a regular basis. I think I've already said to you, if you subscribe to Larbert Baptist Church's YouTube channel, if you get the little bell icon and click on that, you will be reminded automatically of any time anything is posted. You'll get notification on your phone or whatever, and you'll be able then to catch up and to keep in touch with all that's going on. So that is the way forward. Now, I can't go any further without saying a tremendous thank you to all of you who have been listening. It's incredible to think that we've done 116 of these. Some rather unkind remarks from people saying that they're surprised I even had 100 thoughts in my head. But leaving that aside, as a gracious Christian, I will forgive those people. It doesn't annoy me at all. Don't worry, only joking. But I do have to say a big thank you to all of you who have been listening. Some of you have been more regular than others, and that's only to be expected. When I got to the landmark of doing the 100th video, I just happened to mention publicly that some people I had known of had listened to each and every one of them. Well, friends, when I said that, I was staggered. I was overwhelmed because a whole pile of other people came and said, "Ken, we've listened to every one as well. Haven't missed one." Regularly listening, tuning in every single night, or catching up if they've missed out. Now, can I just thank you very much indeed, because without you listening, there's not much point in me giving these thoughts for the day. So thank you. It wouldn't have been possible without you. Now I'm taking a wee break, as I said, from doing them, but you're going to get a wee break from me as well. And well, that's as it is. That's good and right and proper too. And we'll just come back refreshed and eager to pick up where we left off in a short while. But thank you also for the positive feedback that I've been getting. Not just that you've been watching, but that you've been enjoying some of these thoughts. Some of them, the talks, they've been rather simple, rather straightforward. Some of them hardly a thought at all, and that's fine. It wasn't meant to be anything deep and theological. Now, sometimes we have been given something to think about, either from myself or from the scriptures, and it's good to think a wee bit more deeply about things as well. So I'm grateful to know that that's been a worthwhile exercise as well. I have to admit, friends, some of the things were difficult for us all, myself included. Perhaps some things none of us understood, myself included. So that's all been part of the exercise as well. But thank you for the questions that you've asked. Thank you for the letters that you've written. Thank you for the emails, the texts. Thank you for the dialogue that's been going back and forward. This has been a wonderful way, not ideal, but a different and a wonderful way just to keep ourselves in touch and keep close to each other amongst the fellowship and from further afield as well, because I know that some folk are watching this from a distance, and it's been great to renew fellowship with them and enjoy fellowship on a different plane, so to speak. So I believe it has been a worthwhile exercise. I didn't know how it would go when we started, but we gave it a go. And as I said, I didn't think we'd be doing it this long or it would be that well received. So thank you to all of you who have been listening, but especially to those who have listened to every single one. I really will have to think about getting that medal that I promised you. Okay, now I'm just trying to prepare you for going back to church, and there's a few things I have to say, albeit in a light-hearted way, because we've got to get used to going back to church and doing things at least partially like the way we used to. So I've just got to lay the basics down here, friends, and remind you. For a start, when you go back to church, when you're sitting there live in the service, there's no mute button, okay? You'll not be able to turn me off, okay? Unless you physically get up and restrain me, there's no other way that I'm going to stop. So bear that in mind when you come back to church. Also, in the same vein, there's no fast forward button, okay? You're going to have to listen to me the whole way through, even the bits that you don't like, okay? So get ready for that as well. And the other thing, of course, is that in church, we don't want you coming and listening to me in your pajamas or your dressing gown, okay? I know that goes on as well. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. But I often wonder, as I sit here and look at myself on this screen, I often wonder, you can see me. I wonder what I would see if I was able to see in to your living room or wherever you are watching this. The mind boggles, okay? Another wee light-hearted thing that I've got to remind you of just before I sign off, it's about this wee shelf here, okay? And again, I think this is wonderful because every one of the talks that I have done, I have always, since day one, I've always put something on that shelf that is relevant to the thought that I'm trying to explain or to give, okay? Now, sometimes they're a wee bit cryptic. Sometimes you have to think a wee bit, but there was always a connection. Now, what's crazy about this is that some of you, even now, and this is why I haven't said anything, but some of you, even up to the end, you've never noticed that. You've never made the connection. You've never taken it under your notice at all, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just thought you might have twigged on by now. Some other people are the exact opposite. I think they're more interested in what's on the shelf than what I'm actually saying. And that's wonderful as well, because if you're trying to make the connection between that and what I'm saying, you'll have to listen. Okay, that's just to give you an example. This is the only time I'll ever mention it, but that's a little book about computer games. It just says game over. And that's my way of saying the way we're doing things at the moment, like this every night, it's game over. But just like a computer game, you can always hit the start button again a wee bit later and carry on. So again, thank you for those of you who have noticed that. And again, those of you who haven't, if you don't believe me, you can always go back, because these are all on YouTube. Go back to day one. You can watch them all again if you like, and you can try to make the connection. That should keep you going until church gets back to normal. Now, the other thing that I started off doing all those weeks ago was this here business, okay? And I want you just to think about that. I know you probably, when I start to do that, you know it's over and maybe you've just hit the off button. But just think about those wee things for a minute. Keep praying. Now, I know we have an incentive to pray because of the virus and because of our lockdown and so forth. And yes, we were encouraging us all to pray. But we're Christians, friends. We should keep praying no matter what. There's an awful lot of things to pray about. Just look at the world around you. So keep praying and keep on praying. The other thing is this here, okay? Continue to keep washing your hands. You always have to. It's always good to have germ-free and clean hands. But again, you can spiritualize that, because those people that the Lord takes and uses in a wonderful way tend to be people with clean hands and a pure heart. So there's something to aim for. What about this here business? Looking up. Well, again, excuse the lightheartedness or the frivolity, but we should be looking up to the Lord Jesus. We look to him for everything. We should keep our eyes focused on him. If we take our eyes off him and look at the world, well, there's not much to see. But when we look to Jesus, then we can see the world in a different light, and we see how we can be useful for him and serve him and witness for him in this world below. I also usually end up, not all the time, but I after that say keep safe. And of course you know what that means as well. Keep safe in the current circumstances. But friends, above and beyond that, even more so, keep safe eternally. And the only way you can do that is to be safe in the Lord Jesus. So if you remember nothing about anything I've said, just hang on that last wee phrase, because we can only be safe in the Lord Jesus. Okay, I will sign off for now. I'll say it, perhaps for the last time. Keep praying, keep washing your hands, keep looking up, keep safe. I hope that all has a different meaning now for you. And I look forward to chatting to you again soon. But until then, until after the break, you've guessed it, it's another bye for now. Thank you.